Welcome to AHA, a human among humans. I'm your host, Michael Koran. I'm going to be here just by myself tonight. I'm doing a presentation this Tuesday to celebrate my mother and all mothers. Here's a picture of my mother. If you can see, I can come closer. Whoops, not too close. There's my mother, my dear mom, Evelyn Korn. So, this isn't the presentation. I'm just going to talk about the presentation. My wonderful acting teacher, Stan Edelson, who's 89 now and still teaches acting at the Cambridge Center for Adult Education. He's giving me private lessons, and he says, Michael, you need a through line for your presentation. It's never too late to have a loving mother. And wow, is that helpful? What's going to be the motivation through the hour, 45 minutes to an hour presentation? And discovering the motivation really was one of the great gifts of my life, Stan Edelson. Thank you. My beloved mother, Evelyn Korn, she used to be on the show. We have a show, you can look it up, How to Grow Old Laughing. And my mother said that mantra, old age ain't for sissies, but we try to laugh. Well, the through line is, my mother says to me, might have been 16, we're walking by the Whitestone Bridge, looking at the water, and she says, Mike, the happiest time of my life when I was pregnant with you. I'd love that to be my first memory of my mother. Maybe, if I can, I think I am imagining that. Like a mystical experience, but a very grounded one. Being, and going back there, womb with a view, to be aware that we can be just, oh my, I wish this for everyone. We're all children of mothers. May we all get back to the garden. Maybe whatever it takes, maybe a life. So that's my through line. Thank you, Stan Edelson, for my presentation. I'm beginning to get there. How? Never too late to have a loved son. What love in that womb. Now, it didn't last. Maybe it's always here, but life gets in the way. My first memory of you, Mom, is I'm 3 years old. I hear a banging in the kitchen. I go out into the kitchen and I hear pow! I see my mother with a mop in her hand. Pow! pow, pow. I say, Mom, why are you hitting the ceiling with a mop? And she says, the people upstairs made a lot of noise at a party last night, and woke me up, kept me up, so I'm getting them up in the morning. Pow! 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 Ooh, my first memory. Ouch. Although, when I tell this to my students, asking them what their first memory is in my writing class, I expected them, and they did at the beginning of my writing career. I've been teaching writing for 40 years. Maybe I'm learning a little, maybe. And I expect people to say, wow, that's a tough mother. But now when I share it, they say, right on, Evelyn, right on. Woman fighting for herself before these times when it's cherished. Good for you, Mom. A little scary for me. Now, a memory I do not have, because I was too young, but I'm very, very blessed that my father tells me this again, walking by the East River where he was born in Brooklyn. And you share this with me, Dad, Mike. I think I know why you're such a stubborn man. When you were born, we read from Dr. Watson, a child psychologist, who was a behavioral, changing behavior of people. He was the one, you can see it on YouTube now, he was the one who took a little girl, shared a kitten with her, and she's happy to see the kitten, and then he goes, pow! 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 And he does that a few times, and he says, look, I showed the little kitten to the girl, and she's frightened, and she used to like the kitten. And he's proud of that. And Dr. Watson, may God forgive you, Dr. Watson, said, Mike, don't spoil your children, your babies. Feed them at the end of every 4th hour. Don't let their crying change your discipline. This is before Dr. Spock. And Dad tells me as we're walking by the East River, I would hold you down and Mom would try to feed you at the end of the 4th hour because you weren't eating. We didn't want you to die. And Mom forces food down your throat. You didn't want it. I think you've been stubborn ever since. I think I might be able to feel this now. And since this particular evening is just thinking about this story, we can interrupt. And I now am so grateful to you, Dad for sharing this story with me. Helps me so much understand who I am. Stories are like wealth of healing. I hope this helps us too, this story. And so I can begin to understand why when I grew up and go to the University of Chicago and start studying comparative religions, it was called. Guess what, Mom, Dad? I am so attracted to this Jewish boy on a cross, and his story is he can get off the cross, come back to life, and live happily ever after and after and after. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for imprinting upon me this happily ever after story, getting off a cross. Took a while, of course. So my through line for this story is I want to get back to that beautiful, beyond words, ineffable is the fancy word, beyond words, that feeling, experience of my mother happily holding me in her womb and being the happiest she ever was. Like a mystical experience of no boundaries, happily nourished, swimming. Can I get back there? It's hard with the pow, pow, and the being held down. So hard. I had trouble eating for 20 years because my basic desire for food was so painful. And I could thank you again. Another through line. Buddhist truth, deep truth. There's a famous story about food again, of a monk chased by a tiger. Tiger wants the monk for lunch. The monk comes to a vine, starts climbing up the vine. The noise of the first tiger awakens another tiger on top of the cliff where the monk is climbing, and the monk is in between two tigers, both wanting lunch, and then a mouse starts crawling down the vine, nibbling. Everybody's hungry. And the monk in this situation reaches for a strawberry. Takes a bite and says and feels how sweet it is. And this too, Mom, is a gift, a hard gift? How can I enjoy desire, just the journey, whether I get fed or not? How sweet it is, just maybe reaching out for the strawberry. I can retell the story. Reaching out for it. Enjoying the journey toward the strawberry. And then that's not easy to not let the goal get in the way from me enjoying the journey. So these are wonderful challenges. Buddha, like Buddha, be like, his name in Hebrew, his name was always, in his lifetime, Jeshua. We call him Jeshua Jesus. Get off that cross. Live happily ever after, and after that too. And another gift, this is all given in my body, really. Guess what? With this bottle threatening me because I don't want to eat. My father holding me down. What story are you teaching me, Mom? Holding the bottle over me and forcing it down when I don't want it. Thank you for Abraham and Isaac. Another painful but surviving story. Isaac, whose name means laughter. Can I laugh? Can I learn to laugh when I'm threatened in this way and my desire is being messed with, so having it is painful? Another through line, how can I learn to be true to Isaac's name, laughter? The great poet Dante said when he got to heaven, there's an inaudible laughter that pervades everything. Maybe like swimming in your womb. Well, to get to this womb with a view, and these experiences are helpful in their painful way. Well, I have a younger brother, 2 years younger than me, and there's one thing, some things were annoying about people. One thing I really couldn't stand was that he existed. Especially since as soon as he was born, my father decided to enlist for the Navy. We then was born. So when I got a little older, my way of expressing my disapproval of my brother Len's existence was to sit on his arms with my knees on bigger and spit in his face. And Mom, you say, when Dad comes home, Charlie, Michael's been spitting at Lenny's face again. And my father, to show me how it's wrong to pick on people smaller than you, gets ready to spank me. Says, go to your room. But there's rules for spanking. My father will only hit me on the backside. And so I'm a fighter from being force-fed on. And I put my feet around the bedpost, and he turns me over and I go back, and it takes him a long time, and finally he goes, pow! 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 I think more humiliated than hurt. And my father, when he leaves, I say, you bastard! And to show me respect, I have to respect him. It's me again a little less hard. I say, you bastard, again as he leaves. We do it again, you bastard, quieter. And I know he's pretending not to hear me, and he knows I know he's heard. But he leaves. And then Mom, you offer me the only time I can remember. You come in and you say, you poor boy, you're hurting so much. And you started it. So this is very confusing. Affection, desire for food, gets very confused. Affection is humiliating again. If I'm so humiliated, then I can get affection. Now I'm saying these things, these painful things, but these hopeful things. There's an old Jewish expression, when we remember well people dear to us who've passed on, died, the memories are like a prayer, and they help the person you're remembering rise through the heavens. And I hope, Mom, this remembering of you well will help you rise. And you've always wanted honesty. You told me that when I was about 11, you said, Michael, when I was 11 and went to school, the kids in the school said, Evelyn, you're a bastard. Your parents aren't your real parents. You must have heard it from their parents. And I go home and I say, Ma, Dad, the kid said I'm not your daughter. And my mother says to me, honey, we didn't want to tell you, but you were adopted. We wanted you to think that we were your real parents who loved you like you were really our child. And you, Mom, I think ever since then, never trusted things the way they appeared. Again, a great philosophical gift to me. You were always looking under things, through things. What's the real truth? So I think I'm sure you'd appreciate the truth of these stories. Well, after you consoled me with the wounds you caused, get my dad to hit me, you come in as you're caressing me and you say to me about a day or two later, it's like, you've not been talking to your dad and you're hurting his feelings, Michael. Go tell your dad you're sorry you're hurting his feelings. And I go over to my father, my mother's at the table too, and I, good boy, I'm do what I'm told this time. And I say, Dad, I'm sorry I'm hurting your feelings. Again, this was a painful, not really. I don't think I wanted to be compassionate anymore. This was my natural compassion for my dad, for people, and it was twisted. It seemed to be. It wasn't. I shouldn't have been the one apologizing. And it was compassion seemed so humiliating. I decided unconsciously not to do this again. Much better pretend to care for people. After not talking to my dad for 3 days, after my father hit me, I'm sorry I'm hurting your feelings. And all of these tangled knots really. Compassion meant humiliation, so I didn't want it. How to get it again. These are all, hopefully these stories are painful as they are. Being able to share it with you, I can unknot the pain. Be free of how we get trapped. I do, certainly. How to find real compassion when it used to be humiliating. There's a challenge. We won't answer it now. I'll continue the story. We'll see if we can answer that. We're looking for many things. How to be off the cross and live happily ever after, and even after that. How to feel like Isaac, when my parents were force-feeding me. How can I become true to Isaac's name, which means laughter, or he laughs, and find, as Dante said, an audible laughter that pervades everything in heaven. We get off these altars. Or the Buddha challenge, how to just enjoy the journey of desire without getting attached to the outcome, whether we get it or not. Fine. Well, these were the painful gifts that you gave me, Mom. And of course the birth you gave me, the conception you gave me, the 9 months in the womb. I'd love to feel that again and have that, like the song, the whole world's in his hands, to have that oceanic experience with me, day by day. Well, food was hard. We had in our family what's called the tragedy of the open mouth. This happened so many times. We'd sit down to dinner. My mother would be making dinner. Mom, Dad had told you can't work because women don't work. If man needs to feel he's a man, the breadwinner. And Dad, you'd eat the bread. You start eating the bread before Mom came from the kitchen with the main dinner, roast, and you'd be pissed, Mom. Good for you. Charlie, you didn't even wait for me to so we could begin as a family. And my father's feelings are hurt again. And he picks up a coffee cup with coffee and says, "You shut your mouth, Evelyn. I'm going to throw this coffee cup at you." "And you're brave, Mom." "Pow! Pow! Your gift." And you say, when Dad says, "Keep your mouth closed," you say, "Ah." Dad throws the cup, he misses you, probably intentionally. And you want to hit him. Pow! Pow! And I take you and push you into the bathroom. Don't let you out. So eating was challenging in our home. Bathrooms were challenging. I remember I'm 15 in the bathroom, and for you, Mom, there's no doors, no boundaries. You have to find out what's going on. Since you were told you were adopted, was for real. You go into the bathroom, I'm urinating, and you say, "I wish your father could amaze me the way you do." I later tell this to a friend of mine who was much more abused than I, and she said, "That's enough to feel that you've been abused, sexually even." Lucky me, it wasn't, as far as I know, more than that. Well, with many experiences like this, when I go away from the universe, after I come back from Israel, I say, I need 4 years without interacting with you, Mom. I'll call you at the end of 4 years, as if I'm graduating, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. And I do this, stubborn that I am, not eating, refusing to be force-fed. At the end of the 4 years, my father calls and says, "Your mom just had a stroke, call her." And I do, just before the 4 years are up. And I invite you to come visit me in Cambridge. I rent Mopsy Strange Kennedy's home in mid-Cambridge. We get there, I've driven you from the airport. You go in, you look at the refrigerator, you open it. There's no food in the refrigerator. What kind of son are you? Have come all the way from New Jersey. There's no food in the refrigerator. I say, "Mom, I want us to start our relationship again by speaking more kindly to each other." And you say, "Stop trying to control how I talk. You're Hitler. That's what you are. You're Hitler." And I walk away and I say, when I see you again, I want us to talk more kindly to each other. Hitler! Hitler! Well, I come back in the following morning, and I know you're scared I won't talk to you again for 4 years. In the past, you'd love to just have us fight, and we could both feel as miserable as you feel about yourself. But not now. You come up to me and it's like you're biting your tongue. You say, "Michael, I think we should talk more kindly to each other, you're right. And from then on, you speak kindly to me. And you're so appreciative that I insisted you speak kindly. And that helped us. Maybe for the first time, when I visit you, and at the end of the visit you say, Michael, what would you like to do? I say, oh, I'd like to see a wildlife preserve. And you say, oh, that's too far, and have a plan to meet someone later in the afternoon. I say, okay, and then you say, oh, okay, we'll go. And when we're walking, there's crocodiles, which is nice to see in the water. And when we're walking, there's an armadillo on the road, waddling along. And you say, how cute. How cute. And we never had pets. And I was touched that you were liking this armadillo. I felt like it protected myself from you and women. And for that moment, first time I could remember, I feel a little sliver of love breaking through my shell for you. And I go back to Boston feeling that love, just a little bit. When you visit again in Boston, we do these things. We go to a group called something like Sexual Abuse Anonymous. And I tell the story of the bathroom. And when you walk in and say, I wish you'd amaze me, I wish your father would amaze me the way you do. And I share the story of a dream I've been having for 7 years of I'm going through tunnels and subways. I don't know where I'm going. And then at the end of the 7th year, I come out of the tunnel and there you are. And you want my penis? This is in my dream. The dream ends. And the next night I dream that my brother and I are 1 and 3 years old. And you say, what's wrong with these children? And in the dream our hairs are dyed. And I say, you're trying to make them into something they're not. And oof, pow! I feel a knife go into my belly. And that was the end of these dreams. And we walk out of Sex Abuse Anonymous, and you say to me, did that really happen in the bathroom? And I say, yes. She says, I don't remember. Which, of course, you wouldn't know. Now, I can feel, let's see if I left that out. Here's again, picture of my mom. shoulder. I can feel, I do feel your presence, Mom. I hope this is helping you rise even more to heaven. We're stepping out. Minutes, and we'll talk a little about money. There's a D.H. Lawrence short story that begins, they married for love, and when the love turns to dust, everybody in the house heard, there must be more money. There must be more money, whispering from the rocking chairs, walls, and the ceiling. So that was what was true in our house, Mom. We just grew up during the Depression, and that powerful drive for money with no love in the house was overwhelming. I remember once I go shopping with my youngest brother, Scott, and I'm about 17, he's 7, and I buy him some jeans, some Levi's. I want him to feel like he's getting closer to being a young man. And we're at the checkout counter, and you think that it's $1 too much, and you grab the Levi with one leg. You don't want me to buy it, and I grab the other. Levi's are strong, and I pull you and the Levi's to the checkout counter and pay the $7. And so my brother can have it. I remember once a similar brother practicing my golf swing, and I just was learning golf, and I hit him in the nose, and he's bleeding, and I want to call the doctor who makes house calls then. And you won't. It costs money. You won't let me do it, and I have to lock you in again in the bedroom then and call the doctor. I can feel telling this now how hard this addiction is, how hard to overcome. And you did. After Dad dies, you start giving your sons $10,000 a year. Tax Dad didn't do this, because those are tax-free. You come visit me in my home. I'm living in 2 rooms, which you helped buy, you and Dad. It was just $6,000 to buy this 2-room apartment in a cooperative, but I couldn't have afforded it. And there's no sink in the bathroom, and you leave me with $5,000 and say you can now get a sink in the bathroom and fix up your kitchen and knock down some of these unnecessary walls. And you call me when you're back in Florida, say, did you fix your kitchen? And I say, no, I didn't really feel the need to. And you say, it's okay. I don't want to control you. You can have the money, which is a great gift to me. $5,000, adult education teacher. So you're overcoming when you're dying your desire for money turned into a gift that changes my life. I can now write more fun stories like this, not worrying about whether I have enough money or not. Thank you, Mother. So we used to go, see if I can get anything out here. Oh yes. So I'm visiting you at the end of your life, and I'm about to fly back to Boston. It's 5 in the morning. We've had our visit. I'm just communing with you while you're sleeping. And you wake up and you look at me and you say, "You almost missed Michael. You almost missed Michael." With a big smile on your face. I guess you meant you talking to yourself. But it's also me. I almost missed Michael. Thanks to you and the story, I'm beginning to find Michael. I was guilty of what is known as a spiritual bypass. I really tried to love you, Mom, but there was still so much anger inside. And I can imagine, because we used to go to these self-help groups together, and now that you're a ghost, I think a spirit at least, ghost might not be the right word. Now that your spirit is here, I can get the anger out. I can even put my hands around your neck and get out. It's really been hard, Mom. It's really been hard to love people, especially women, with all of our trauma. Can I get this anger out now that you're a spirit? And you'll say, yes, Michael, we're healing. We're healing together. We're healing together. And I can get it out. And I say, oh, I'm getting free now. Free of the trauma and the anger. We're healing together. And I'm saying we're free. We're healing together. We're free. And then you can feel it now. Your hands go on the sides of my head. And I put my hands on yours. And we used to say, when you taught me yoga on my rooftop, which helped heal my back, thank you for that too. And you'd lead us in a mantra prayer. And I can feel it now too. I hope I'm getting back home with a view. At this time with the view, I can feel that oceanic experience now with you. And I hope more and more through my day. And as we're blessing one another, we can repeat that mantra. Each day, in every way, we're growing better and better and better and better and better. And maybe I can invite you too, in the audience, to join us. Join me and my mom maybe hands on your head or whoever you're with now. Each day, in every way, we're growing better and better and better and better and better and better and better. So I hope all, and you'll join me with this, Mom, I hope all mothers and children who are on their own journey, and eventually, since all mothers gave birth to us, and all of us, I hope, can go back and have a womb with a view and be able to say with our mothers and everyone else, each day, in every way, we're growing better and better and better and better and better and better. So after you died, Mom, I saw you on a show, on my television show, Growing Older with Evelyn Korn, Growing Older Laughing. And I could see then that I never really took you in, to really breathe you in. I think I can do it now safely, now that we're apart, so I can feel our connection. When I go back to this womb with a view, I'm aware I'm swimming in the ocean of life. It feels good at this moment. Thank you.